me, Zara Khan, aka 5th Rate Duelist, with a 6th rate deck. I know there are a lot of videos on Drytron combos already, but I feel like people don't really explain the theory behind it. They just kind of show you the combos and expect you to memorize it. And personally, that wasn't the easiest way for me to learn. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to explain the theory behind it. So that way it's a lot easier to memorize the combos and also figure it out on your own whenever you're testing hands. So first of all, I will go over the Drytrons. So we know there's Alpha, Gamma, Zeta, and Delta. Some people play Beta if they're concerned about their Drytrons getting banished. So that's the 5th one that I'm not really going to go over. And everyone knows Alpha Zeta. I will go over the Alpha Zeta combo. Everyone knows what Alpha Zeta is. But a lot of people don't know that Zeta and Diviner is full combo. Or that Gamma plus any of these is also full combo. And so whenever you're looking at your hand, hopefully you have 2 Drytrons because that'll get you pretty far. But you can also look at where you can get missing pieces from other things, right? So of course you want Ben 10 because that's going to get you to the Fairy, it's going to get you to Diviner, it's going to get you to the Herald, it'll get you to a lot of places. You also want the ritual spell, so you have to think about what are the different ways that you can get the ritual spell. So there are other ways that you can get the missing pieces. So Diviner, remember, if you send Herald of Arclight, you can add a ritual monster or a ritual spell, but you can also send a fairy from the deck. So say you have what you want, but you want to protect yourself, you can send an Eva with Diviner. Banish 2 fairies, get 2 fairies on the hand, if that's what would be good for you. Fafnir, you overlay 2 Drytrons into this XYZ monster, and Drytron Fafnir will let you send a Drytron to the grave, and that's where you get your missing piece. So that's how Gamma and Zeta is full combo, and Gamma and Alpha is full combo because of Fafnir. You also can get missing pieces from Beatrice. Making this rank 6 does require Diviner and Benton or Editon if you play it, but you can get a missing piece from Beatrice as well. So you have to kind of keep in mind that yes, the Drytrons matter, but you can get the other pieces elsewhere. So I'm going to show you Alpha Zeta. Most people know what Alpha Zeta is, but it's worth going over. You don't have to play Editon. There are a lot of advantages to playing Editon, so I'm going to show you the combo with and without Editon, so you can see how you make the same board, but obviously there is advantage to having Editon in your deck. It's just your personal choice. So you're going to start out with Alpha tributing Zeta. So this is going to allow you to add the Ben 10 from your deck to your hand. Then you want to do Zeta tributing the Ben 10. So from Zeta, you'll add the ritual spell, and then from Ben 10, you'll add the Diviner. Keep in mind, depending on your hand, if you have an orange, if you have a fairy and you want to add an orange light for protection, you can do that. If you already have orange lights and you want to go for the Herald, that's totally possible too. It just depends on your hand, but I'm just going to show you basically what we have. So Ben 10 is activated. And then at this point, you can either make Fafnir or you can summon Diviner. I usually do the one first that if I'm afraid that you have like an imperm or effect failure, I do that one first if it's not going to matter as much. So like for instance, if I really want to make the Beatrice, I'll do Fafnir first because it doesn't kill me if I can't get a Drytron to the grave. But if I really want a Drytron in the grave, then I'll bait it out with Diviner and then take it from there. So first of all, you're going to make the that's Beatrice. You're going to make Fafnir and you're going to go ahead and send Gamma. So Gamma goes to the grave. And then you're going to normal Diviner and activate the effect. You're going to send Herald of Arclight. Now if you're playing without Editon, you are going to go ahead and, where's my Herald? You're going to add the ultimate. And so I'll show you what to do with Editon in a little bit. And so now this is level 6. And so you want to activate the Medionis Drytron, detach in order to make the Ben 10. And then you want to reduce this by 1,000, add this back in case they have Nibiru or something like that. And then you're going to go overlay for Beatrice. Then you're going to detach the Diviner. It's very important to detach the Diviner because you don't want to banish the Ben 10 just yet. and then you'll send an Eva to the grave. So Eva will activate. You banish the Diviner and the Arclight for cost in order to add 2 level 2 or lower fairies with different names. So you'll add an Orange Light and you will add a Diviner as well. Keep in mind you can't add Eva from Eva. So this is your hand right now. So now you have Gamma and Grave, right? So you contribute the freaking ultimateness in order to summon the Gamma. And then you can go ahead and activate Medionis to detach in order to make the ultimateness, and the ritual goes to the grave. And then you can go ahead and make a Link Haribo. And then you can make IP. And you're going to end on your board. Right now you have 2 fairies. And then on the opponent's turn, during the draw phase, I always do it, where I'll detach 1. And then I'll send the other Eva. And then I'll banish the other Eva and the Ben 10, because Ben 10 has kind of used up everything it can by this point, in order to add 2 more fairies to the hand. So you add an Orange Light and a Diviner. Keep in mind, Eva can also banish from the field. So if you don't want to banish the the Benton for some reason, what you can do is you can banish the Beatrice, because that is also a fairy. So at this point you have 4 negates. You also have an IP. So you can make a unicorn with these 2 to shuffle something back, or you can make an Appaloosa with these 3. In order to have additional negates. But this is pretty much everything you need to really stop a board. It's really hard for people to play through this as well. And keep in mind, this is assuming that you only had Alpha and Zeta to start with. Alright, so that was Alpha Zeta without Edaton. Here's how you do it with Edaton. So you're going to start with the Alpha, tributing the Zeta. And so you're going to add the Ben 10 from, they should be in my extra deck, the Ben 10, right? And then you're going to activate Zeta, attributing the Ben 10. So you'll add the ritual spell, and then with Ben 10 you add the Diviner. And then you're going to go ahead and either overlay with Fafnir to send a Gamma to the grave, or you can start with Diviner depending on what you want to bait out. Then you normal Diviner, activate the effect, so you send an Arclight, and then you're going to add Edaton from your deck to your hand. So where are you, Edaton? Edaton, where are you? Here we are. Now, if you don't know, Edaton will let you add a ritual spell from the deck or grave to the hand when it's summoned. So basically, you can really abuse this card, which I mean in the nicest way, in order to kind of get what you need. So first and foremost, you activate the Medionis Drytron, and then you summon the Ben 10. You want to kind of hit the Ben 10, or tribute the Ben 10 to get more cards. So I'll reduce this by 1,000 to add this back, and then I'll tribute the Ben 10 to summon Gamma. And so Ben 10's going to activate, and we're going to add the Herald of Ultimateness to our hand. Then we're going to activate Medionis. So we're going to detach in order to get Edaton, and then we add this back to our hand. So we're going to go ahead and overlay for the Beatrice, and then we can detach in order to send Eva. Eva will activate, so you banish the Diviner and the Arclight in order to add 2 fairies from your deck to your hand. Next thing you can do is you can activate Medionis, and you can tribute that for the Herald. This goes to the graveyard, and then you can go ahead and summon the IP. Then on the opponent's turn, you're going to detach, and you are going to send another Eva, and then it's up to you whether you want to banish the Ben 10 or the Edaton. I personally banish the Ben 10 because I find the Edaton to be more valuable because you keep recycling the ritual spell, and you have Orange and Diviner. So basically, you're ending on pretty much the same board as without Edaton. You do have a Link Haribo in the version without Editon, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. So overall, you're ending with 4 negates in hand, and then IP, which can turn into a unicorn, or worst case scenario, you can turn it into an Appaloosa. It's really hard for people to play, like, assuming your board gets Dark Ruler no more, at least you do have 2 monster negates in hand that you can kind of use to protect yourself. Now keep in mind, I was just using the 2 cards in my hand. You have 3 cards that are completely unused by this point, so your board could be even stronger than this, but this is just the bare minimum. Okay, so another combo I want to show you, Zeta Diviner. So Zeta Diviner is full combo, and if you remember, I told you that you can get missing pieces from Beatrice. So you're not going to end with as many negates as you would if you have Alpha Zeta uninterrupted, but this is an example of how you use Beatrice in order to, you know, get what you need. So you're going to start out by summoning Diviner, and then you'll send Arclight, and then you'll go ahead and add the Ben 10 to the hand. Then you're going to go ahead and activate Zeta, tributing the Ben 10. So you're going to add the Ritual spell, and then with Ben 10, you're going to either add Editon or Ultimateness, depending on, you know, which one you play. Like, if you do play Editon, or if you don't play Editon. And then you're going to activate Meteorus Drytron. You're going to tribute the Zeta in order to summon the Editon, or sorry, the Ben 10. And this goes to the grave. Then you're going to overlay for Beatrice. So at this point, what you want to do is you want to detach the Ben 10. I detach the Ben 10 in case I want to summon it back for some reason. And you're going to send a Gamma from the deck to the grave. And you have Gamma and Zeta in grave right now. So you're going to tribute the Herald of Ultimateness to make the Gamma and summon the Zeta. And then you're going to overlay for Fafnir, and you're going to go ahead and send Alpha. So at this point, what you can do is you can reduce this by 1,000 in order to add the Meteorus back. And you can go ahead and activate this in order to get the Herald of Ultimateness. Now keep in mind, you did have an Alpha in hand, in grave. So if you wanted a different ritual, or if you're playing Editon, you could tribute the Fafnir in order to summon the Alpha, in order to get that ritual to hand, and then you can tribute that one in order to get the missing piece that you need and summon that monster. So in this way, on your opponent's turn, you'll go ahead and detach, you'll send the Eva, you'll go ahead and banish the Arclight and the Diviner, and you will add Orange Light and Diviner to the hand. So you do have 2 negates for your Herald, and you do have this, so it's not as strong of a board, but it is full combo. So this is like pretty good. Keep in mind you'll have 3 other cards in hand that'll kind of like help protect you. Okay, so Gamma Delta is also full combo. So you activate Gamma, tribute the Delta, and then summon. And then you go ahead and overlay for Fafnir, and you will send the Alpha. So Alpha will then go ahead and tribute the Fafnir. And it will let you add the Ben 10. We haven't used Delta, so you do Delta, tribute the Ben 10. It's a little bit of a waste because you can't draw, because in theory you might not have anything else in hand. But you can go ahead and normal summon the Diviner, and that's the way that you can get to the Ritual spell. So you add the Ritual spell. You can make another Fafnir, just so you can start detaching materials. But you can activate the Meteorus to detach. You make a Cyber Angel Ben 10. You reduce this by 1,000 to add back. You overlay with Beatrice. And then we don't have access to the Herald of Ultimateness. So what we do is we're going to send it with Beatrice. So we're going to send the... Sorry, you can't see this. You're going to send the Ultimateness Then activate this in order to summon it. This goes to the grave, and then on the opponent's turn, you're gonna send Eva in order to banish 2 fairies, so you can do the Herald and the Diviner. And so what you're gonna end up on, it's not a very strong board, it is just 2 negates. But keep in mind you have 3 other cards in hand where you could have done more, and you know, it's something. So just know in the end, if you do have Gamma and Delta, you can still do a lot. It's not perfect, but this is another example of Beatrice sending you the missing piece. Another thing that I want to show you guys, say you have Gamma and Zeta. This is full combo. Now the thing is, remember I told you guys about how Fafnir can send you the missing piece? Like, I know there's a lot of hesitancy to tribute Fafnir itself when it has so many materials, because it's like, oh my god, like, yeah, it has so many materials. But it's a way for you to get full combo. So what you want to do, say you have Gamma Zeta, you tribute the Zeta and activate Gamma, and then you're going to go ahead, overlay, make Fafnir, and send Alpha. And keep in mind, we haven't used Zeta. We've only used Gamma. So we're going to tribute the Fafnir for the Alpha, and we're going to get the Ben 10. And now keep in mind that you have Zeta and Grave unused. So you can activate Zeta, tribute the Ben 10, and it's full combo Alpha Zeta. In the end, you are going to use a second Fafnir, but that's totally fine because it'll get you to the same board. If you have Gamma and Alpha, you want to activate Alpha, tribute the Gamma to add the Ben 10. You know, if you want, you can make a Link Haribo, just because you have like room to do that. And then you'll activate Gamma, tribute the Ben 10 in order to add, probably what I would add at this point is Diviner. But you can also go ahead and add a ritual if that would be easier for you. It's just this way you get to Beatrice. So you're going to overlay, and you're going to make Fafnir, and you're going to send the Zeta, because you need the ritual spell. Keep in mind you can get the ritual spell from the Diviner, but we also want access to the Herald, so this is a way for us to do it. So we summon the Herald, we go ahead and summon Arclight, and then we can add the Ultimateness. If you play Edaton, you would add Edaton instead. And then you would activate Zeta, tributing this, so that way you can add the ritual spell to hand. And by this point, then you can go ahead and do the shenanigans of making the Ben 10, reducing this to add it back, overlaying for Beatrice, getting a bunch of negates, and then in the end you would summon the Ultimateness, and you have everything. So keep in mind, like, if you have Gamma and any other Drytron, you make the Fafnir first, and then you send the missing piece, and then you tribute the Fafnir in order to get that missing piece, and then go full combo. So unfortunately, Drytron, you know, it all is 2-card combos. You can't really just normal summon a Drytron and get Invocation or whatever, get the ritual spell or whatever. But, you know, you can do a lot with certain hands. And keep in mind too, like, these are just if you have the cards in hand, but you also have Cyber Emergency, and you also have Drytron Nova in order to get you the missing pieces. Foolish Barrel is also something I wasn't playing, but I think is really good, and that's a way that you can get the missing piece. So, yeah, that's pretty much my Drytron combos. There's also this guy named Shu. I don't know his full name. I just know he's a pro player, but in his Discord, he calls it like Shu's Laboratory or something like that. I don't know. Let me look that up. It's Senpai Shu's Yu-Gi-Oh! Lab. And I'm going to put a link to the Discord in the description. But he actually has combo videos for a bunch of different things which you can watch. I just wanted to go over the theory. So, alright, thank you. Please like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Cool, we have a follow. And we're not even streaming. That's dope. Alright, thank you. Bye.